Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight, I want to highlight the year 1993. I have dug out every CD I own from the year 1993, and I want to talk about each one. And at the end of the video, I will go back and I will give you my top 10 favorite albums from the year of 1993. So, in alphabetical order, right off my CD shelf, these are the albums that I have accumulated from 93, starting with Accept's Objection Overruled. Now, I'm fairly new to Accept. I really started getting into them just this year, actually. But I love this album. This is my favorite Accept album. And except for the song A Manos La Vida, which I could do without. The rest of this album is like perfect to me. It's the title track's my favorite Accept song. I Don't Want to Be Like You is great. Protectors of Terror is great. Slaves to Metal, All or Nothing, Bulletproof, Sick, Dirty, and Mean. Donation, which is just basically a straight up AC/DC song to me. This one's for you, freaking kick-ass closer. I love this one. Objection Overruled, fantastic. Fantastic album, in my opinion. Next up, I have Aerosmith's Get a Grip. This may be one of the most insane in-album declines that I can think of. The first third of this album is phenomenal. Eat the Rich, I love that song. It's like my favorite Aerosmith song of the Geffen era. Get a Grip, big fun chorus, got the Steven Tyler-esque lyrics in there as well. Fever, upbeat, a lot of fun. Living on the Edge, great hit. After that, this album falls off a cliff. Flesh, 6 minutes of filler, basically. Walk On Down's okay. Shut Up and Dance is okay. And then we get to the really bad stretch of this record. Crying, ugh. I never want to hear that song again. Gotta Love It, I don't love it. Crazy, I never want to hear that song again. Line Up, I don't like that one either. Amazing, not a big fan. I like it better than Crying and Crazy. Like, to me, it's more tolerable than those two. I'm never going out of my way for that song, though. And then you end with Boogeyman, which is just not a memorable instrumental to me. So the second half of this is just... oh. As much as I love Aerosmith, the second half of this is brutal. Which is insane because the first half of this was phenomenal. So, yeah. Get a Grip from Aerosmith. One of the biggest, in-album drop-offs that I can think of. Next, I have the Badlies, The Unfortunate Result of Spare Time. Man, it's been a long time since I've gone back to this one, but Better Way to Save the World was a great song. Me, Myself, and I is great. Laundromat Radio was pretty good. And Little Eddie, I think, was the other song here that I really dug. It's been a long time since I played this album, though. It's yeah. Some of this I having a hard time kind of recalling, but like I said, the ones that I do remember, those ones that I mentioned there, those ones are really good songs. It's just in general been a long time since I've listened to a lot of Badlies, though. Next up here we have Better Than Ezra, their first album, Deluxe. I think this is a pretty solid album. In the Blood, good. Southern Girl, Porcelain, solid album. I like those first two Better Than Ezra albums. After that, for some reason, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about anything beyond those first two albums I just never got into. Big Country, Buffalo Skinners, bought this on a whim just because I wanted to explore some more of their music, and chose this one at random, and it's phenomenal. Alone is a great song. Seven Waves, maybe my favorite song from Big Country. What Are You Working For, I like a lot. The One I Love, which is not an REM cover, by the way. Long Way Home, Ships, All Go Together, Winding Wind. A lot of great stuff on here. Doesn't have that unique Scottish sound that The Crossing had. It's a little bit more straightforward rock on here, but these guys are an underrated band, and this is a phenomenal record. Now, I'm not a big country fan, but if there is one country duo that I do actually quite like, it's Brooks and Dunn. And there would have been a day where I would have thought a CD with that album cover would ever be in my collection willingly, but it is. And even though I definitely love their first album more than this one's got some really good songs on it. I like Hard Working Man. We'll Burn That Bridge is probably my favorite Brooks and Dunn song outside of their first album. Mexican Minutes is pretty good. Heart Broke Out of My Mind is okay. She Used to Be Mine, I don't like that song at all. It's just like it's too slow, sappy and ballady and country for me. Can't get into it. Second half of the album, I could take it or leave it. It doesn't really come close to matching my love for their first album, but yeah, it's okay. So yeah, for first four songs, I'm into. I really hate that song in the middle, that ballad, and then the second half of it to me is just, take it or leave it. Next up, we got Candlebox. Best known probably for their big hit Far Behind, which I think is a great song. The other song on here I really like is Don't You. Otherwise, there's good stuff on here. It's not, I wouldn't say this is like one of my favorite grunge albums ever, but there's definitely some songs I really dig. I love Far Behind though. That's one of those songs from the 90s I really love. All right, next up we have Phil Collins, Both Sides. I do quite like Phil Collins' solo material, but this is not, in my opinion, one of his stronger efforts. I find this one to be kind of forgettable. Outside of the first song, Both Sides of the Story, I just don't. I don't know, the rest of it is just kind of a big nothing to me. It's a little bit too drawn back, I guess. But yeah, it's just I have a hard time sitting through this one. Other Phil Collins albums I think are just really fun to listen to from start to finish. I find this one to be a chore though. Counting Crows, August and Everything After, their first album. Counting Crows is one of them bands I kind of find I have to be in the mood to listen to them. I would say that my favorite songs on here are probably the popular ones, Mr. Jones and Rain King. But when I'm in a Counting Crows kind of mood, I think the rest of this album does appeal to me a lot more. But generally speaking, I kind of go for like the bigger hits, and that pretty much satisfies my Counting Crows desires, I guess. Next up, we have Kerosene Hat by Cracker. Personally, I do prefer their first album a little bit more to this one, but this one's still, I mean, it's got Low, which is a great song, Get Off This, which is also a great song, Movie Star, so yeah, decent album. I think when it comes to Cracker, I think I prefer the first one to this one, and anything after this, I'm actually not that familiar with, but still some good early 90s rock right there. Next up, we have the Cranberries. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't we? That is a long album title that I can't ever remember. Not Counting Crows. The Cranberries are, I kind of feel like if I hear one Cranberries album, I'm hearing them all, which isn't necessarily bad because there's sometimes I'm just kind of craving that particular sound, but the distinction between their albums to me isn't that vast. My favorite Cranberry song is on here, which is Dreams. The other big hit, Linger. I used to freaking hate that song when I was younger, but I've come around on it. Not such a hater of Linger anymore, but Dreams is my favorite Cranberry song. So, like I said, they kind of have one of them sounds like if I'm craving it kind of specifically, it's like it really hits the spot, but it's not something I find myself reaching for really often. Next up, we have Deep Purple and The Battle Rages On. I think this is a great album. The Last with Ritchie Blackmore. And the Richie Blackmore era of Deep Purple goes out with a bang. The title track is phenomenal. Anya is great. Time to Kill, Ramshackle Man, A Twist in the Tail. A lot of great stuff on here. Battle Rages On from Deep Purple. Kind of an underrated gem, in my opinion. Def Leppard, Retroactive. I think you got some real gems on here. This comes after Adrenalize in 1992, which for all intents and purposes, Adrenalize kind of felt like a handful of Hysteria leftovers. Some good songs on it for sure, but I don't know. You got like Desert Song I hear things really good. Fractured Love. Action, the cover song is great. Two Steps Behind's a nice ballad. Love Only After Dark. It's my favorite song on here. One of my favorite Def Leppard songs, actually. So, yeah, I got some real good gems on this one. Dio, Strange Highways. I think this is a great album, actually. Highlights for me: Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost, Firehead, Hollywood Black, Evolution. One of my favorite deep cuts in the entire Dio catalog, Blood from a Stone. I think it's a great album. It's angry, aggressive, and kind of feels like a sister album to the Black Sabbath one that came out the year before this, Dehumanizer, which is one of my favorite Sabbath albums as well. So, great stuff. One of my favorites in the Dio catalog for sure. Next up, we have Superstar Car Wash from the Goo Goo Dolls. I think at this point in time, the Goo Goo Dolls are just growing by leaps and bounds on every release. Hold Me Up was a big step up from their first two really punky albums, in my opinion. This one, another ginormous step up from Hold Me Up. And then from here, they're just going to go into the stratosphere with Boy Named Goo. But you've got some great tunes on here. This is one of the most evenly split albums between Johnny and Robbie, too. Johnny's got some great ones: Falling Down, 'Cause You're Gone, Girl Right Next to Me, We Are the Normal, So Far Away, Stop the World, On the Lie. Robbie's songs: Lucky Stars, great, Don't Worry, Domino, Another Second Time Around, Already There, Close Your Eyes. Goo Goo Dolls are just getting better and better by the album here on Superstar Car Wash. Guns N' Roses, The Spaghetti Incident. It's okay. There's tunes on here I like. I do like New Rose. I like Hair of the Dog, the Nazareth cover is cool. Attitude, I really like that one as well. Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. Those are good covers. The rest of it, yeah, take it or leave it, I guess. Next up, we have Verses from Pearl Jam. I think this is a great album. For a long time, I actually preferred this one to 10. I don't know that I still feel that way, but I like a lot of the hits on here. Go, Animal, Daughter is great. Dissident, Rear View Mirror is great. Elderly Woman is great. Two of my favorite deep cuts in Pearl Jam's catalog, Glorified G and Leash, which is probably a top 10 favorite Pearl Jam song for me. So, killer album in my opinion. Verses from Pearl Jam. Next up we have Counterparts by Rush. Kind of a return to the heavier sound for the band, coming off of the synth era in the 80s. Plus you had Presto and Roll the Bones, which, as much as I like both of those albums, they are a little bit softer sounding. I think this one really puts the heaviness kind of back in the forefront. Saying that, and it's a good album, don't get me wrong, this one doesn't click with me as much as a lot of other Rush albums. Stick It Out's really good. Nobody's Hero, Between the Sun and the Moon, Everyday Glory. There's definitely some really good songs on here, but I just find that I don't click with this one as much as some other Rush albums. But That being said, it is Rush, so it's not bad, but it's not really amongst my favorite from them either. Savatage, Edge of Thorns. Unfortunately, this would be the last Savatage album with Chris Oliva before his untimely passing. And this would be the first album to feature Zach Stevens. Is that his name? I'm drawing a blank. It's late at night. Cut me a break, please. Yeah, Zachary Stevens. I think this is a great album. Not one of their heavier efforts, but it is kind of blending itself into those like concept albums that they would kind of do in the latter '90s, and even the one before this with Streets. It kind of has that symphonic kind of element to it, and I like it. I like it a lot. Edge of Thorns is a great song. He Carves a Stone is great. Lights Out, Scraggy's Tomb, Degrees of Sanity, Conversation Piece, Damien. Even some of the softer songs, some of the ballads like Exit Music, All That I Bleed, I think are really good songs. So I think this is just a really, really great album from start to finish. I like it. I like it a lot. One of my favorite albums from Savatage. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream. I kind of want to like Smashing Pumpkins more than I do, especially their older stuff. I kind of lose interest in them past the '90s. But as much as I want to like their classic, gosh, Billy Corgan's voice just drives me nuts. I don't care for his voice at all. When I can get past it, there are a lot of songs I like, especially right on here. Sheriff Brock, Quiet, Today, Rocket, Disarm, Mayonnaise. So, and their next album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Again, a lot of great songs. But damn, his voice just drives me nuts. But yeah, I think this is a good album. If I can get past Billy Corgan's voice, I can enjoy this one. But there are times where like his voice is just too much for my ears. Which one of my best friends loves the Smashing Pumpkins, so like I've been exposed. I've tried to like it. It just it grates on me a little bit. Which I said the same thing about Dave Mustaine for the longest time, and I've kind of come around on his voice, but there's no I don't think there's any hope in the foreseeable future that the same thing's going to happen with Billy Corgan for me. Last one I got here is Winger and Pull. Really, really kick-ass album here, following those first two Winger albums, which were okay. They're probably like my two least favorite in the Winger catalog, though. This one just is phenomenal. I mean, it's like they decided to get serious, and they probably should have decided that before they got to this point. Because I mean, hair metal had kind of run its course by the time 1993 comes around, and Winger had found themselves the butt of a lot of jokes between Beavis and Butthead and the Metallica video and whatnot. So Winger were kind of for sure the underdogs here, and they come out with one really, really killer record here. Blind Revolution Mad is a great opener. Down Incognito I like a lot. In My Veins. Junkyard Dog is a great song, super heavy. The Lucky One, In for the Kill. Who's the One? Great closer here. So yeah, fantastic album. Probably my favorite Winger album. It's kind of close between this and Karma, but I might give the edge to that one there. So those are the albums that I own from 1993. Obviously, there's plenty out there that I don't own. I think most notably, the one that comes to my mind is Nirvana's In Utero, which I'm not a big Nirvana fan, but In Utero had some songs that I did like. Scentless Apprentice, Heart Shaped Box, Pennyroyal Tea. It also has a lot of songs I don't like too. So yeah, but give me 1 minute, and I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite albums from 1993. All right, I'm back with my top 10 all figured out here. And I gotta say, when I was putting this together, I realized that I left one at least one CD from 1993 on my shelf. And when I was putting this list together, I realized I didn't have it, and I'm like, well, this is definitely solidly in my top 5 from the year. So like I have to go back and get it. So when I get to that album, we'll talk about it. But otherwise, my top 10 from 1993. Billy Corgan's voice aside, number 10, I'm going to go Siamese Dream. Do think there's a lot of great songs on here. Musically, I think it's fantastic. Like I said, the one thing that holds me back with Smashing Pumpkins in general to me is just Billy Corgan's voice grates on me. In the number 9 spot, we're going to go with Deep Purple. The Battle Rages On. Killer record. Last with Richie Blackmore in the band, and I think he goes out with a bang here. Title track, Time to Kill, one of my favorite Deep Purple songs. And yeah, Twisting the Tail's pretty awesome as well. So great stuff here from Deep Purple. Number 8, I'm going to go with Pull from Winger. Just a really awesome record. Sees the band kind of shed the glamminess and just kind of embrace a more progressive, harder edge style, and it really works for them. Junkyard Dog, great tune. One of my favorites from the band. So number 8, I'm going to go with Pull. Number 7, I got Verses from Pearl Jam. Great follow-up to the amazing debut album 10. Like I said, for the longest time, I think I actually preferred this to 10. I don't know that I still feel that way, but this is still a great album nonetheless. Number 6, love me some Goo Goo Dolls. I'm going to put Superstar Car Wash in the number 6 spot. Like I said, this is probably the most even between Johnny and Robbie sharing lead vocals on an album. Both of them have a lot of great tunes on here for sure. Goo Goo Dolls at this point, I think, just really coming into their own. Number 5, I've got Dio and Strange Highways, killer, angry, heavy Dio record with songs like Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost, which I think is phenomenal. Firehead, Evolution, Blood from a Stone, killer stuff. Number 4, I've got the Buffalo Skinners from Big Country. Like I said, it a little bit more of a straightforward sound compared to some of their 80s records, but still, Stuart Adamson is a phenomenal songwriter and vocalist, and they're banging on all cylinders right here. Great stuff from Big Country. And here it is, the album that I forgot about. I overlooked it when I was going through my CD shelf, but solidly in my top 5. Here in the number 3 spot, Out of Body by the Hooters. Great album. I felt like something was missing as I was going through the CDs, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was until I was trying to put my top 10 together, and then I realized this was the album that I didn't have. 25 Hours a Day, fun song. Boys Will Be Boys. I love that tune. Just love the riff. The duet with Cyndi Lauper just works so well. Great Big American Car, Private Emotion is great all around the place. One Too Many Nights I like. Nobody But You. Solid Hooters album right here. Number 3, Out of Body from the Hooters. Number 2, Savatage, Edge of Thorns. Like I said, I like the heavier songs, like the softer songs. I think it all blends together really well. First album with Zachary Stevens. Last album with Chris Oliva. And great record nonetheless from Savatage. Number 1 for me, gotta be Accept, Objection Overruled. Just a kick-ass, in-your-face heavy metal record. Even though there's one song here that I'm not crazy about, Amos La Vida, the rest of it is just so freaking phenomenal that like I tend to forget that one song's even there. Objection Overruled, my favorite Accept song. Don't Want to Be Like You, Protectors of Terror, All or Nothing. This one's for you. Killer stuff. Udo's voice is like at its meanest and graveliest and snarliest, and it's freaking awesome. So Objection Overruled from Accept at the top of my list for 1993. So let me know in the comments below your favorite albums from the year 1993. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future, and I'll catch you next time.